Welcome to Bootcampverse, your universe of tech bootcamps. Good morning and welcome back to Day 4 of the Code2Corporate Bootcamp. Yesterday, we explored the essentials of corporate communication. Think emails, meetings, and workflow tools like ticketing system that help keep your work organized and transparent. But here's the thing, all those emails and tickets are just the surface. The real heart of any tech company is the code you and your team write. That's why today's session is all about managing that valuable code through version control, specifically using Git and GitHub. These are the tools that let you and your future teams collaborate smoothly, avoid chaos, and build reliable software together. Let's start with a problem you might have faced already: managing files manually. Imagine you're working on a document with teammates. Soon, you have versions named document final doc, document final v2.doc, document final really final doc. It gets messy fast. What if two people edit the same file at once? Whose version wins? Mistakes, lost work, and confusion are guaranteed. Enter version control. Think of version control as a supercharged save button with a perfect memory. It's a system that records every change to your files over time, so you can travel back to any previous state, see who made what change and why. In the world of IT, version control is not optional. It's critical. Why? Here's why version control matters. First, it tracks changes. You'll always know who did what, when, and for what reason. Second, it enables collaboration. Multiple people can work on the same project at the same time without stepping on each other's toes. Third, it's your safety net. Made a mistake, break something, you can roll back to a working version instantly. Fourth, it supports branching and merging. You can work on new features or bug fixes in branches, separate workspaces, without affecting the main project. When you're ready, you merge your changes back in. Finally, it brings accountability. The full history of every contribution is recorded, making teamwork smooth and transparent. Now, let's get specific. The most popular version control system on the planet is Git. In fact, most companies expect you to know it before you even step in the door. So, what is Git? Git is a distributed version control system. Distributed means every developer has a full copy of the project, including its entire history, on their own computer. If the central server goes down, your team can still work. That's powerful. Let's break down some core Git concepts. Explained simply, a repository or repo is just a project folder that Git is tracking. It contains your code and the history of every change. A commit is like a snapshot of your repo at a certain moment. Each commit has a unique ID and a commit message. Think of it as your diary entry explaining what you did and why. Writing good commit messages is a superpower. Be clear and specific so anyone can understand your changes later. A branch is a pointer to a specific commit. It lets you create a separate workspace to develop new features or experiment without messing up the main project. The main branch is usually called main or master. Merging brings changes from one branch into another, combining everyone's work. Git works with three main rests like a factory assembly line. Your working directory is where you edit files. The staging area is where you queue up the changes you want to include in your next commit. You use Git add to put changes here. Think of it as choosing items for the checkout basket. The Git directory or repository is where Git permanently stores your commits. When you run git commit, stage changes are added here. Let's run through some basic Git commands you'll use every day. To start tracking a project with Git, use git init. Check what's changed and what's staged with Git status. Add files to the staging area with Git add file name. Commit your staged changes with Git commit and your message. See your history with Git log. Create a new branch with Git branch name. Switch between branches with Git checkout branch name. Merge changes from another branch with Git merge branch to merge. But Git isn't just about working alone. In the real world, you'll need to share your work and collaborate with others. That's where GitHub comes in. GitHub is a web-based platform that hosts your Git repositories and adds collaboration features on top. It's not the only one. There's GitLab and Bitbucket too. But GitHub is the most popular, especially for open source and corporate projects. Here's how GitHub fits into the picture. Your remote repository is the version of your project hosted on GitHub. To start working, you clone a repository, copying it from GitHub to your local machine with Git clone. Once you've made changes and committed them, you push them up to GitHub with Git push. If someone else makes changes, you'll want to pull those updates from GitHub with Git pull. You can fork someone else's repository to make your own copy, great for experimenting or contributing to open source. The magic of collaboration happens with pull requests, or PRs. When you want to merge your branch into the main project, you open a PR on GitHub. This is where code review happens. Teammates can comment, request changes, or approve your work before it's merged. Let's walk through a typical workflow. First, clone the repo from GitHub. Create a new branch for your work. Edit files, add and commit your changes. Push your branch back to GitHub. Open a pull request and get feedback. Once approved, merge the pull request. Finally, pull the latest changes to your local machine to stay up to date. In a corporate environment, this process is the backbone of teamwork. Branches and pull requests let multiple people work in parallel. Code review ensures quality and helps everyone learn from each other. Many companies link commits and pull requests to tickets in systems like Jira, often mentioning the ticket ID and commit messages or PR descriptions to track progress and connect code to business goals. You'll also hear about CI/CD, continuous integration, and continuous deployment. Git pushes can trigger automated tests and deployments, making the whole process faster and more reliable. We'll cover this in more detail on day 12. Let's recap. Git is your tool for tracking every change in your code, and GitHub is your platform for sharing, reviewing, and collaborating with others. Mastering these tools is essential for any tech job, and it's a skill that will set you apart on the job market. Looking ahead, tomorrow we'll focus on resume building and LinkedIn optimization. Here's a pro tip. Having an active GitHub profile with real contributions is a huge plus for job applications. It's proof of your skills, teamwork, and commitment. Your action item for today: install Git, create a GitHub account, and try initializing a local repo and pushing it to GitHub. Don't worry if it feels new. Practice is the key to becoming comfortable. If you have questions, now's your chance to ask. Thank you for joining today's session. And remember, version control is the foundation of professional software development. Don't forget to subscribe to Bootcampverse for more real-world learning that takes you from zero to job ready.